24, Driving Business.
A very good morning to you once again, the 11th of July 2024. It's always a delight to have you join us and let us know what you think. Now remember how we do it here at Smart Means Business here live at Smart 24 TV. We're always very insistent and very key on a positive attitude. How do you seize the day? How do you attack the day? How do you tackle the challenges? I think this is more or less a song, but it's not necessarily a song. It shouldn't be taken as a song. It should be a norm, a way of living. We are here driving business. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Kem Chadorin. I'll be taking you through the day. You can get us live at DSTV 372 as well as GoTV 320. It's always a delight to have you. Now, taking you through just a couple of things that we will be sharing with you. We are still insisting on getting to the cost implications of HIV/AIDS in Uganda. What is happening? Is it something that is now a norm? Has it taken a backward trend? Most of the different conversations that we have had this week have been hinged on that. And that is the undertone of this conversation as well. But this time, we will be looking right at the role of the cultural as well as religious institutions in Uganda. What has been happening? And of course, from 9 to 10, we will have an amazing guest join us from an Anglican priest, but also an HIV activist, joining us all through from 9 to 10, letting us know what is the church doing. When he came out and disclosed and came out in the open that he was HIV positive, how did the church react? And has it made any particular strides? Has it been able to impact upon the lives of others? This is something that we will be keen on to find out what is happening. Now, let's dive right into it. When we come to talking about the role of religious institutions in Uganda, we have had quite a lot of a little bit of hesitation, when I can say that. And we had a conversation sometime with some of the leaders coming in from Church of Uganda, and they mentioned that things have changed, whereas in the past it was different issues really coming in on that part. And of course, the light in which many of them of the Ugandans saw the church coming in as you know, as role model, as the one that gets to push forward morality and set forward the standards to live. And right now, how do you get implicated? But also the ability to navigate what happens when you talk about declining morals, especially. Can you just have it as an umbrella and talk about do not steal, do not lie, do not fornicate, do not have adultery? Or should you be able to get down into the nitty-gritties and talk about some of the things that are happening not only within the church but outside? Those were some of the areas that, of course, they had difficulty and had to navigate with at the very beginning. But right now you have most of the religious institutions really getting hands-on and blatantly calling to book all the sheep, all the different persons within their institutions, all the churches, the congregations, really to come on board and begin to look at some of these things. This especially took effect. Of course, we had the ABC strategy that was very, very successful, and we even highlighted it yesterday, and we talked about the different ways in which Uganda had become a role model, a poster child, with different countries coming in from the rest of the world to come and see how did we manage to bring down the rates of HIV infections that were so high during the early 90s and late 80s. But of course, the ABC strategy was really very effective. It came in abstain, be faithful, as well as using condoms. And during that time, like I mentioned yesterday with my colleague, we talked about the fact that role models such as Philibert Ngololitaya, the late, came out and said, you know what, this is happening, let's move away. Today it's me, tomorrow it's you. Let's move away from the stigma. This was quite influential in putting a face to this, because it came out and demystified and said, you know what, this is not witchcraft. It is not. You get it through sharing sharp objects, through unprotected sex, and then through all these mother to child as well. So there was quite a lot of sensitization, and we made quite good milestones as Uganda. Now, the influence of faith-based institutions and organizations in the fight against HIV has been slow. It has really been slow. From the very beginning, it was quite cagey about it. The ability to come out and say, stop having unprotected sex, you are seated here and you have it. Can you go and test? I think it wasn't blatant enough. They were still speaking in parables, and very many of the congregation, the members actually did not pick up on the parables. Now remember, the setting that has been there all throughout the time has been a little bit cagey, especially when it comes to enforcing and jump-starting persons to come up and say, you know what, live an exemplary life. Do you have this? Normally it would stay on the outcast, on the outside of the fence, but not get inside, because inside the personality, inside the way people were living, inside the behavior of many of the congregation members meant that you were literally taking it personal. And that is something the church was really not doing in the very beginning. But things have changed. It is not business as usual. Right now we have more outright speaking, especially now that we know for the last couple of years that this has taken a turn. Of course, we had in quite a number of different segments of the population being you know, labeled as victims per se. But when it came down to the married couples actually now having infection rates going up, and of course the incidence of cross-generational sex, but particularly the married couples being affected by this, then that is the family unit. That is the family unit, the very smallest unit of the society. The church, I think, was forced to change its approach towards that and see how best to attack this. So there has been quite a lot of talk, and the church is now involved. In fact, when it comes to Church of Uganda, in the last conversation that we had with the community, the director in charge of community development, he was insistent that right now when it comes to livelihood improvement, elimination of poverty, skilling of the, not only just the congregation or the members of the Church of Uganda, but when it comes down to the communities in which they are based, they are very particular about it. In most cases, there has been a linkage between high levels of poverty as well as the incidence or the prevalence of HIV. How do we get to see this? Because the assumption or the linkage is that the moment, and this has been really from research findings, that where there is a high chance of poverty, a high rate of poverty, then you have more and more young girls susceptible to having cross-generational sex. Then you have more incidences of parents marrying off their children, but their girls when they're still a little bit younger. And of course, transactional sex coming into play, even for the girls still in school, as well as the boys right now. The boys are also part of this story. Long time ago when the strategy was coming out, a lot of insistence was more or less on the girl child, looking at the girl child being as a victim of cross-generational sex, the girl child being as a victim of transactional sex coming out and being directly linked to the HIV AIDS spread. But now you have the boy child as well being victim, especially to this, and it's on the increase as well. So please, parents, when you are talking, or different stakeholders, when you are talking to your children, please do so in a balanced way, because the scenery has changed. It is now both boys and girls involved, both boys and girls being victims right now to all the prey out there, to all the hunters out there. Persons that come to them and offer them monies. Can you come to me? I will give you the latest gadget iPhones. iPhones are a big thing right now. And someone is saying, just I will give you this if you are able to have an affair with me. And that is a young boy, or do this or do that. Right now, it is on the increase. Please, let's talk to our children from as early as possible. One, because the research findings show that the years are getting younger and younger, whereas this had permeated, the prevalence had permeated the marriage institutions, with one or two, any of the spouses getting out there and bringing back the disease and then spreading it out. Now we also get to see that this is moving actually lower and lower. You have very young people in Uganda right now having an early sexual debut, getting into sexual and other intimacy earlier on than was expected. So please get to talk to them. But later on, of course, we are going to keep on analyzing and looking at the role of the religious institutions in addressing HIV/AIDS. Get onto our social media pages and let us know, what has your church done? What has your mosque association done? What has your different community, religious community or religious elders done basically to alleviate this? Have they been particular? Have they been direct in their sermons, or they're still beating about the bush? This will be the undertone of the conversation all throughout until 10 o'clock. My name is Kemcha Doreen, and please stay with us and let me know what you think. Right about now, let me just get into the press review so that we can find out what is happening in this country. Press review coming up next. And right about now, get your new vision, get your monitor, get to find out what is happening. Thieves in my government, give them no bail. There is no mincing words. The president is still at it. Actually, cartoons have come out and they have have drawn him in caricature with a lot of a big stick holding anti-corruption stick. This is the measure that is there. President Museveni's call to the courts to deny bail to persons accused of corruption has resurrected a polarizing proposal he previously said should apply to rape, terrorism, and murder suspects. So the corrupt have been blanketed in literally into this. We urge the judiciary to support us by placing corruption, especially embezzlement, in the category of offences that are not considered for bail. With a correct, revolutionary, and objective approach, we should easily defeat corruption. Now, this is amazing, one, because and it was really a joke in the town, because we've had past attempts at, and the president and other key stakeholders have grabbed this corruption neck by the neck and said, we're going to do something about it, of course, normally, but then it sort of like dies down. This is the first time ever that it is moving on consecutively. People are the different perpetrators are being hunted down, and this is still hot cake in the news all over the media. So please, this is interesting. Let's find out who else is going to be grabbed within the net. Yesterday we mentioned that a couple of PDM parish chiefs were still under investigation from different districts in Uganda, and of course we have the MPs getting back thrown in remand. So a lot is happening in regards to this. Floods expose rotting capital. Heavy rain yesterday pounded Kampala city, leaving many areas flooded and bringing business to a standstill. The capital city has over the years suffered a flooding problem due to poor drainage and encroachment on wetlands. There's quite a lot of pictures going on. And of course you do have the severity of this, because this is a serious issue that comes out. It is not just a joke like most of you remember the jokes that used to be there the moment it would rain and this place around Chambogo was flooded, and most of the people would come in and say, can we have a canoe? Can we have a boat to take us through? But right now, flip the coin and look at the other side of it. Poor drainage. Has it cost lives in the past? Yes. Has it brought about a lot of rot in the system? Yes. Who is accountable? Can we have names for that? And why is it that this is not prioritized? UCC cracks whip on errant media service providers, not us definitely, but it is alleged that such unscrupulous providers of online content often publicate damaging stories about their victims to force them into negotiations for payment before the defamatory stories are corrected or deleted. This is Nyombi Tembo, the UCC Executive Director. UCC is right and justified. As NAB, we do not condone these wrongdoings because it is blackmail. It is a shortcut through which people can extort money from the right-thinking members of society. This was said by Dr. Innocent Nahabwe, the NAB chairperson. Please be keen. These as well are happening. This you have had of someone who has fallen victim to this. It is not something that is new. Please be aware and ensure that you do not fall victim to this sort of thing. Ruling on Bibanja mortgage sends banks into panic mode. As a body responsible for Kabaka's land, our message is simple. Financial institutions shouldn't receive mortgages or Bibanja without our consent. That was Mr. Bashir Kizito Juma, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Buganda Land Board. More than 10 commercial banks have reached out to Buganda Land Board to seek guidance on how to comply with court rulings. Some muddy waters there, and it's sucking in quite a number. EC Chief joins electoral reforms choir. No formal job, no problem. The Sigiri will do it for me. Today, Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate World Population Day. As a young country with 33 million below 30 years, youth unemployment is a huge challenge. However, some people, such as this one highlighted, have taken the bull by its thorns, and heroes spoke at an event. Quite a lot happening within the papers, and of course, counting the uncounted inclusive data in Uganda and beyond. Quite a lot of things happening. We will stop Putin aggression. That is from Biden, the Biden administration. Now remember, what is the talk of the town? The talk of the town as well is the different tariffs that are being slapped on EVs, on China's EV, and of course China's insistence and really stubbornness in coming back. Yesterday, we brought out the news to you that it had partnered with Turkey to bring out the EVs as well as different African countries. So we can see that it is being quite elusive. But getting into the new vision, we have some news here. General Muhoozi, Chinese ambassador, discuss defense projects. And the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is also the Senior Presidential Advisor for Security Special Operations, has shaken hands with the Chinese ambassador. This was after a meeting at the Special Forces headquarters in Entebbe, where they reviewed ongoing projects in the defense and security sectors. Get your new vision and find out more about it. Still talking about how far and how long and how deep should you go. A TikToker has been jailed for insulting the president. Please use the social media correctly, because you may find yourself in challenges. EC to create 5,000 new polling stations, 10,000 residents petition Lands Minister over Akon City project. This has brought in quite a lot, because the expectations that were there when this musician Akon came in, and the very ambitious plan that he had sort of like took a backward step, and most were asking, was this a ploy? Was there something? Was this realistic? What happened to it? But apparently it's being resurrected. Get more. According to sources, the land belonged to the Namasole. Bishop Kakoza administered Holy Communion to 400 student schools, asked to appoint chaplains. PDM funds a no-go area for the corrupt. The Prime Minister holds PDM in Masaka and Rakai. Prime Minister Robina Nabbanja has halted the disbursement of PDM funds in Rakai and Masaka districts following reports of parish chiefs mismanaging the program and excluding locals living in extreme poverty. In Rakai district, several parish chiefs were forced to refund the money they had taken from locals. Last month, over 100 locals from different parishes protested and accused the parish chiefs of prioritizing those who paid bribes for genuine beneficiaries. It's very good that some of these gaps are being caught up in time, because this is the most important thing. Remember, we have been addressing here at Smart 24 TV some of the cyclical gaps all through last week, some of the cyclical gaps that have been happening and taking place within some of these government programs, especially within women empowerment, as well as different programs, just as the PDM program right now. Please get onto YouTube. You can be able to access all this information from weeks past, and our YouTube Smart 24 TV. Uganda can slay the hydra of corruption, the global challenge of increasing water demand in growing cities. What are they saying about it? When it comes down to business, ESG rules, what they mean for banks and customers, and of course, the changing climate already affecting economies. Debit and credit cards, predominantly made of PVC, using fossil fuels, emitting harmful pollutants, contributing to environmental degradation. All this is coming out. You who has an ATM card or that particular credit card, what is it made of? The banks are right now being sucked in and saying that 1.544 billion cards are in circulation worldwide. The lifespan of cards is short, leading to a constant cycle of production, consumption, and disposal. Banks are right now under that. They did have quite some cutback on the papers, on the usage of the papers used within the banks. Right now it is more or less a check-in system and getting into the line. And that was of course a cost benefit on their side. They got to stamp down, not only getting to stamp down on the cost of making all those different papers and all that for each person coming out for a teller service, but now you have the check-in system. But still, the ATMs are being highlighted, the ATM cards are being highlighted as part and parcel of those leading to environmental degradation. Quite a lot of news coming in. Please get your Daily Monitor and your New Vision to give you the latest happening. For now, let me take a short break and we will be right back after this message.
Smart 24, driving business.
Oh, you see Zizinga. Hey, ane Zizinga. Zizinga. Oh, what? This is blood. Zizinga. Lydia wedding. Invisible wakati chechi ndako. I need the blood. Hey, Euros for everyone on Go TV. Euros for everyone. Laira. Yeah, people at home watching Euros on Go TV. Euros for everyone. Yeah.
Euro 2024 is for everyone on GoTV. All the 51 games of Europe's biggest tournament live on your TV and on GoTV stream.
GoTV Uganda, love it.
Amanya gange nze Namtebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde, nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere, weewaawo abafere gye bali, naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire.
Together, we're unstoppable.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Luxury redefined at Seasan Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasan Hotel. So visit today at plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 7